Welcome in, I'm Corvuskin. Settle in however you like. I'll be here for a while. The story of Five Nights at Freddy's is infamous for being confusing. Not because it's badly written, but because it's intentionally fragmented. It's a story told through minigames that last 30 seconds, phone calls from a man who's explaining game mechanics, corporate training tapes that sound like HR wrote them at gunpoint. So today we're slowing everything down. No yelling, no theories, no what if arrows, no registering messy solving boards, just the timeline, calmly, gently, and with understanding that yes, this is also a story where a haunted fox runs down hallways screaming. If you want a full deep dive including the Mimic and other games, let me know, but for now, let's dive in. Every disaster starts with two people who think they're smarter than everyone else. In this case, those two are William Afton and Henry Emily. Henry is the engineer, the designer, the man who genuinely wants to make something joyful for children. William is also an engineer, but with less ethics and more murder. Together they create Fredbear's Family Diner, a small restaurant with two animatronics, Fredbear, a yellow bear, and Spring Bonnie, a yellow rabbit. These suits are spring-lock technology, meaning they can function as animatronics or be worn by humans. This is important because spring-lock suits are extremely unsafe, sensitive to moisture, and basically all-round ticking death traps. Naturally, they become the foundation of the franchise. Now, William Afton has 3 children, Michael Afton, Elizabeth Afton, and the youngest son, currently known as the crying child, at least to my knowledge. Michael is a teenager who copes with feelings by bullying his little brother, Elizabeth is curious and ignored, and the crying child, as advertised, terrified of everything, especially animatronics. And it's not irrational either. In 1983, the crying child is taken to Fredbear's Family Diner for his birthday. Michael and his friends think it would be funny to lift him up to Fredbear's mouth to give him a kiss. It's not funny. The spring locks fail, Fredbear bites down, and this becomes known as the Bite of 83. The crying child does later die, and Fredbear's closes, and something in William Afton breaks permanently. After the Bite of 83, William decides to become a problem. Why? Grief, jealousy, maybe narcissism, obsession with life after death, or because he's just fundamentally a terrible person. Disguised in the Spring Bonnie suit, William lures 5 children into a back room at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. They disappear, and then this is the missing children incident. Their bodies are hidden inside the animatronics. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. The restaurant closes and the animatronics start moving at night because they are now haunted. But let's pause and meet the cast. Freddy Fazbear, the leader, only active when things go very wrong. Bonnie the bunny, aggressive, direct, and does not respect personal space. Chica the chicken appears friendly, absolutely not though. Foxy the pirate, sprinting and screaming is his entire personality. And then Golden Freddy, the one who does not follow the rules of reality. They attack night guards simply because they believe all adults are their killer, which, statistically speaking, is a fair assumption for children. Henry Emily only has one daughter, Charlie, and she is murdered outside of Freddy's location. Her spirit ends up possessing the puppet, which is a security animatronic designed to protect children, especially Charlie. Her death happens due to a few bullies trapping the puppet and leaving Charlie outside in the rain for the puppet to later escape and malfunction right as it reaches her. And the puppet is different. It remembers who it was, it understands what happened, and it gives life to the other animatronics. This is where the hauntings become organised. Due to all of the previous Freddy's locations closing, a new one opens up with toy animatronics. They have Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica. They have facial recognition as well, which is optimistic. There's some new additions as well. Mangle, a take-apart fox that children immediately destroy, and Balloon Boy, whose sole purpose is to just ruin your night. The location ends with the bite of 87 injuring a staff member, which results in the toys being scrapped again. William Afton then creates Circus Baby and Rentals. Now, this is completely different to what he's normally opening up, and unfortunately, Elizabeth Afton disobeys William and approaches Circus Baby. This then results in Circus Baby killing Elizabeth, and her spirit ends up possessing Baby. William then returns to a closed Freddy's. The spirits corner him, he hides in the Spring Bonnie suit, and the spring locks fail. He dies and becomes Springtrap, which somehow does not slow him down. Michael Afton begins working at Freddy's locations, possibly out of guilt, possibly to undo his father's crimes, possibly because OSHA violations follow him everywhere. He eventually goes to Circus Baby's entertainment and rental, and then he meets the Funtime animatronics. Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and Ballora. They were specifically designed to capture children, and it wasn't subtle. Michael is later scooped by Ennard, which is the Funtime animatronics combined, removing his insides, but he survives. This is because of a substance called Remnant that keeps him alive, which means Michael can continue working. Springtrap is found and placed in Fazbear's Fright, a horror attraction. Michael becomes the guard and messes with the wiring, causing a fire. The building burns down and Springtrap survives. At this point, fire is clearly not enough. Henry Emily then creates one final Freddy's location, and it's a trap. He gathers Springtrap, Circus Baby, the puppet inside of Lefty, and the remaining spirits that are inside Molten Freddy. He burns the building, and it works. The spirits are released. However, Cassidy returns as a spirit and traps William, which gives us the game ultimate custom night, William's own personal hell. At its core, Five Nights at Freddy's is about children being failed, grief going unresolved, and consequences that refuse to stay buried. But it's also about a mascot suit that ruins everything. But that's enough for now. I'll stay here, you go where you need to.